guys, my name is Morgan and I am currently a student at CareerFoundry doing the UX Design Bootcamp. I recently finished the Intro to UX Design portion of the course, and I just wanted to give a quick review of what it was like and what you can expect. So this bootcamp costed me personally $5,900. I got a $1,000 scholarship and I paid in one payment, so I got about $1,100 off. Not too bad, especially when you take into consideration the cost of master's programs, and I do feel like it's worth it so far, and here's why. So just a quick overview. The first portion of the course, Intro to UX Design, is supposed to take you 4 weeks. It took me personally 2 weeks. You're supposed to put 15 to 20 hours in a week. And they also take into consideration that you may know absolutely nothing about UX design. Some people take longer than others. I've been practicing UX design for about 6 months. So I knew a little bit, I was familiar with the tools, I understood a lot of the terms. So you are expected to finish 2 tasks per week, 2 tasks or exercises. And I was finishing one like every day. So I finished pretty quickly. For this portion of the course, my cohort needed to make a vocabulary learning app. Mine was called Jargonaut. Yeah, it's sort of a cheesy name, but I liked it. And to make this app, we had to finish 8 exercises, and that included competitor research, user research, proto-persona development, user flows and task analyses, wireframing and prototyping, usability testing, presenting your work. And then the last exercise doesn't have to do with the app you created, it's just creating a future resume, future case studies, and a design profile. I'm just going to go through the pros and cons that I personally experienced during the course. I have a little bit more experience than the typical person who would be taking the course, at least that's what my mentor said. She could have just been stroking my ego. So my pros and cons may differ from yours depending on your experience level and how you like to learn. So let's start with the pros. You get lots of personal attention and a lot of resources as well. So you have a tutor, you have a mentor, you have student advisors, you have a Slack channel, you have in your messages, there are group chats of people who are taking the course at the same time as you. So there's a lot of places that you can go if you have questions, a lot of people that you can go to, which is really nice. And then of course, if you choose to do the job preparation course, which is optional, you also get a career advisor, which is very nice. Pro number 2 is that you get feedback on every single assignment by your tutor. So even if you do everything correctly, they still give you feedback on maybe you could ask yourself this question in order to further understand. So it's not just, oh, congratulations, you did the task completely correctly, move on. Even if you do everything exactly the way that you're supposed to, they give you more information. They give you more questions that you can ask yourself or a user, or just general advice on how to advance even further. I also really enjoyed how this portion of the course focused on just one project instead of just doing a bunch of unrelated tasks that you would just throw away later. Every exercise was just for the one app that you're creating, which I really enjoyed. Every exercise connects and it has a purpose, and there's no fluff, there's no busy work. Number 4 is that they offer examples to compare your project to. So I really didn't need to ask anyone any questions when doing my exercises, because they give 3 examples of projects that did get approved. So if I had like a layout question or something, I would just look at those examples, and it was super helpful. It's a big reason why I was able to get through the course, the first course, so quickly, was because I had those examples to look at. And then the last pro is that because you work on one project for the course, within 4 weeks you already have a case study for your portfolio, which is amazing. So now we're moving on to the cons. Some of these are really nitpicky, but I had to think of some things, and this is just my personal experience. Like I said earlier, you may have a totally different experience because you learn differently or your experience level is more or less than mine. So, the cons. Number one for me was that some of the exercises were a little bit unclear. For example, for the usability testing part, I was unsure of if I was supposed to hand draw more wireframes to use for my usability tests and then connect them to Marvel to prototype them, or if I was allowed to make a digital copy. I wound up drawing mine because I looked in the little Q&A section of CareerFoundry where someone else had the same question, and there were a bunch of comments saying, yeah, I asked my advisor, I'm not sure, and the consensus wound up being that everyone decided to hand draw theirs, so that's what I did as well. Looking back, I don't think it would have mattered. I don't think that she would have made me go back and hand draw them if I did digital versions. I wish that I had done digital versions because I found that incredibly tedious, drawing and redrawing wireframes. Hand drawing an entire app is very difficult. So that's just one con. Like I said, looking back, I probably could have just done the digital wireframes, and I probably could have just asked my tutor, but I just wish that that had been more clear. So con number 2 is that the project felt a little incomplete by the end. That might just be because I'm interested in user interface design as well, and I wanted to give it pretty colors and rounded corners and everything, which I did wind up doing by myself on my own time, but it wasn't part of the project. I understand that that's not necessarily a part of user experience. In a bigger company, they more than likely have user experience designer and then a user interface designer, and you would just hand off your designs to the user interface designer. But I do wish that we had just gone a little bit further. But overall, I understand why, but it's just like, it's one of those things that's like, I wish that we could have just moved past like usability testing a little bit more and maybe have it be part of the project to make a second prototype with the corrections. I think that would have been fun, but after usability testing and presenting, it just stops and we don't go back to the app. So it just felt a little bit incomplete, but I understand why they did it. So my third con sort of relates back to that first point about not knowing whether to draw or do digital wireframes, like through Figma. I love Figma. I don't know anyone who doesn't love Figma. But number 3 is that we were encouraged to draw rather than use programs like Figma. Once again, I understand why, because people with no experience, they would have to learn a whole new program, and this was the intro course. I understand that maybe I'm just overly ambitious, or maybe I'm just really annoying, but I would have really liked to talk a little bit about making wireframes in Figma. So this is just something that frustrated me personally. I wouldn't recommend that they change it, but it is something that was sort of a friction point for me, where I was like, I could just save so much time by just doing this in Figma, but it is the intro course, and we'll see if that changes in the next portion, the UX immersion course. So just some takeaways. Overall, I'm really loving the course. Everything is super easy to understand. My mentor is super helpful. My tutor gives great feedback. I'm learning a lot, and I love that I can do it on my own time. I can finish 10 assignments in 1 week and then go take a vacation or something. My goal is to blow through this so that way I can start applying for jobs, but I highly recommend this course for anyone that needs a flexible course. It's great for beginners. Like I mentioned, like the intro course was a little too beginner for me, where I got frustrated at some points, but objectively it is amazing for beginners. If you are interested in taking a CareerFoundry course, you can use my referral link to get 5% off. It will be down in the description, and I really hope that you look into it because this was a great decision for me. I'm hoping to finish it within 5 months. It is a 10-month course. I'm hoping to finish it in half the time. and hopefully come out of it with a job. And if you do the job guarantee and you don't get a job, I believe within 6 months, you get your money back for the course. So something to keep in mind. I hope that this review was helpful, and I will be back with a review on the second portion of the course, and then the third, and then the job prep course. So stay tuned if you're interested in knowing what CareerFoundry is like for a design student that is currently taking it.